Yeah,
Drake
but what
may.
if I said to you, Drake may suck?
Drake may suck? Who are you, Kendrick Lamar?
I watched that translator actually steal money from Shohei Ohtani during the press conference. Just reach over into his pocket and steal his wallet.
I have never seen a coach on the straight to Fox News pipeline like Kim Mulkey is.
And then there's Deion Sanders.
Prime time.
So was it like The View with penises?
No, I think they only wanted one penis.
Oh, that's classy.
They were like, what's that weird, wet, white smudge on the ground? And they went, that's Rosenberg.
Jason Kelce, but in the WWE?
I could easily see Jason Kelce being a Viking Raider.
McCarthyism back in DC.
All you need to know is Adam Sandler is in.
We are not, on my watch, going to make Conor freaking McGregor some kind of actor.
Say that again. That one was so deep. You said...
That's the kind of sports insight, though, you're going to get when you tune into this here podcast. I just want to make sure people understand that.
From Wondery, I'm Peter Rosenberg.
And I'm Michelle Beadle. And this is Over the Top. Here is how this show works. Best stories of the week in sports and pop culture face off. We're going to crown a champion and we're going to answer one simple question. What is the undisputed most important thing on planet Earth this week? We're going to decide it the only way we know how, using Royal Rumble rules. We'll start with two stories. We decide which one's more worthy to discuss and which one's got to go. After 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced, and we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch to the new one. We don't know the order of stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's first?
All right, well, this is exciting. Here we go. First topics of the day. Opening day in Major League Baseball is Thursday, except for the fact that the season actually started last week when the Dodgers and Padres squared off for a 2-game series in Seoul, South Korea that nobody knew about in the least bit or possibly saw. And the other topic, stepping into the squared circle, after the strung together by duct tape Sixers handily beat the full-strength Clippers in Philly's first meeting with Harden since trading him, Harden left the Clips locker room before media was allowed in the room. Are we talking about bizarro MLB opening day or Jim Harden dodging the media?
Man, okay. Well, I don't even want to do the baseball one because we're probably going to do it again next week when we have our second opening day. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, but I don't know, because at the same time,
Let me hear it.
as little as anyone talked about opening day of Major League Baseball in Seoul, South Korea, in my world, it was actually still talked about more than a regular season game
That's
between
true.
the Sixers and the Clippers.
And the feds and the IRS were probably all watching the Seoul series. So, you're right. James Harden, Jimmy H, whatever we're calling you today, over the top you go. Baseball, you're up. Peter,
Again.
This is stupid. Stupid.
So, yeah, you're not feeling the opening day a week early in Seoul, South Korea?
No, you want to know why? Because there's an easy fix. You want to do it this way, then you make the official opening day that first game internationally, but you butt it up a little bit closer to the actual opening day here stateside. So you could do a Tuesday, Wednesday. Stateside opening day is Thursday. Instead, we have this weird sort of week in between. It's just, talk about taking the wind out of your own sails. I don't understand what baseball does half the time.
It is very, very strange. I understand the idea, of course.
Okay, sure.
It's just, if you want to do this, you got to do it smarter. Like, there has to be a better way you do it. Like, you do it a couple weeks earlier, and it's just part of spring training. And maybe you play a handful of games. Maybe you send 4 teams over, and they rotate against each other, and they have a little mini tournament in South Korea. But the idea of it being the regular season, while I don't think it's the be-all, end-all, and obviously my guess is Shohei Ohtani will come up again during the show. But specifically here, where it was Ohtani's debut for the Dodgers and no one to see it because it's the middle of the night in LA, it's weird.
That's not true, Peter, because I wake up at 4:50 a.m. out here on the West Coast. So I happen to tune in right as the 5th inning was going on.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah. I'd forgotten there was baseball, and I turn on sports radio as I do every morning, and they were talking about it. I was like, oh, that's right. So which means I would have had to have probably gotten up around 3 a.m. It's absurd.
Your alarm goes off at 4:50 a.m.?
Yeah, I'm in my car by 5:15. Hence my smile.
I don't know how.
I actually don't mind it. I'm a morning person, to be honest.
Wow. I don't know how you do it. Okay. All right.
Well, it's the going to bed at 8 that bothers people. All right. Up next, the LSU Lady Tigers. Oh, I know where this is going. Advanced to the Sweet 16. But all the talk was about head coach Kim Mulkey's post-game press conference that included, thankfully, a 4-minute rant against that wily media where she threatened to sue the Washington Post about a forthcoming, quote, hit piece that Mulkey claims includes interviews with former disgruntled players of hers. Do we want to continue talking about Major League Baseball's opening day-ish?
No. Over the top you go, baseball. It's
Booyah.
your fault. It's your fault for having a boring opening day. Give me Mulkamania running wild, brother.
Karen.
Oh, my.
Karen of all Karens.
Is she, by the way, I have never seen a coach on the straight to Fox News pipeline like Kim Mulkey is.
Never have I ever. She's textbook, be mean, be an ass, get called out on it, have a report done about it, claim it's all false, attack, threaten a lawsuit, call somebody a name. Boom! I hit the, whatever you call the 8, the octagon of stupidity.
I love when people get mad and call it a hit piece when they have real interviews with people they knew. If someone were to write an article about Michelle Beadle being the nightmare at a sports media outlet.
You should say that. Yeah.
And they interviewed one person, and they say one person, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said, and then they go on to write a really long article, all based on one person's negative experience. That to me would be unfair. It would be like, well, you're writing an entire piece and shaping a narrative on what could just be one bad personal relationship.
Agreed.
But if you go and do the work and talk to many coworkers and they all are like, let me tell you why I hate Beadle. First of all,
stories.
The drugs at work, the guns. The gambling, the prostitutes. If everybody has a story, I'm sorry, Kim, that's just, you're bad, bruh.
Bruh, it was 2 years in the making. You think about how bad she knows she is deep down in her gut, that she is this scared of this story. Because we already know she's mean. She treats people horribly. She's homophobic. She doesn't really have her players' backs. That's the stuff we know already. So that's clearly not a big deal. She's this mad. Ooh, child.
All right, wait. Up next, whose music is that? Is that Gene Steratore?
Ooh.
The NFL has unanimously banned the swivel hip drop tackle because of its potential to cause season-ending injuries. Dozens of NFL defenders immediately voiced their displeasure online, including Cam Jordan, who tweeted 4 vomit emojis. Speaking of vomit emojis, do you want to keep talking about Kim Mulkey and Mulkamania, or move on to the hip drop tackle, which I heard of every bit of 4 hours ago for the first time?
Yeah, here's the thing. We could keep talking about whiny Mulkey, but I think we're going to have the pleasure of possibly talking about this again, hopefully next week, because the article will have come out. So I'm okay. Actually, I will take pleasure in lifting her in all of her sequins and feathers, and I will throw her as far as I physically am able to over the top. That was the best one we've ever done as far as throwing someone over the top. Yeah, that felt good. This is the only thing I can say about this, Peter, that I truly, truly feel, because I get that sports leagues have to evolve and adapt, and you sort of take the science into consideration and injuries and sort of what is the future for your players supposed to look like in retirement, right? But there have been so many changes. And for my money, when the players themselves are so quick to say, we don't want this, we didn't want this, you didn't listen, we don't want this, and then they have all the emojis floating around and the words, there's value in that to me about changing a rule like this. What do you think?
What do you mean that them all showing such uniform anger about it means it's maybe a problem, or it means,
no,
maybe we really should be getting rid of this?
It means no, don't change it, because the joke they're all making, and I think JJ Watt or TJ Watt or Bob Watt was like, let's just make it into flag football. So clearly the dudes who go through this physicality don't want this to be changed to make it what I guess is called, quote unquote, softer. So then why are we changing it? They're the ones that have to do it. We're just watching. Now, if you're doing it for you're giving more work to the refs. I don't like it, because I'm going to back the players on this one.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it would be interesting to hear a bunch of offensive players really give their take on it. So I remember seeing it a couple times this year. Mark Andrews for the Ravens had one.
Yeah.
There was another one in the Cincinnati game that was like, and you see it and you go, oh, that's a totally legal tackle, but man, that's dangerous, because the way that it's basically when you wrap someone around their hip, and kind of twist them down to the ground. And what happens is the defender's body lands on the back of their foot, which of course could be like tear their Achilles, rip their ACL. There's a lot of stuff going on there. The problem is, and listen close here, it's called tackle football. So if you can't hit them in the head, because we all want to avoid concussions, and you can't go low because you don't want to take out their ACL, you got to maybe go to the middle, and that's this.
All right.
So I just don't know what options you have if it's going to be, and I don't mean to say that callously, like, oh my God, I would hate to get injured in a way like that on one of those tackles, but I just don't know as a defender what you can do. It just seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, Darius Slay was like, there are going to be a lot of missed tackles. And I agree. Look, it's a violent sport, one of the most violent on the planet. I don't know that these little moves are actually making it safer, or perhaps more unsafe, given the fact that guys now have to think about this. They may tweak their bodies in a way to avoid something. You know, you always hear from football players, former football players, that to tackle someone, you have to go full force. If you lighten up a little bit, injuries are actually more prevalent. So I'm not a football player. I know that comes as a shock. But when that many of them are vocal about this change not being for them, there's something there. It's got to be. We listen to the people on this show, Peter Rosenberg. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Big boys are back. March Madness, the men's tournament went from a snooze fest to must-see TV, thanks to a couple of large gentlemen. Purdue's Zack Edey and NC State's DJ Burns. Do we want to continue talking about the changing of the rules, or switch to March Madness?
I guess you're ready to switch to the big boys of March Madness.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the football. Let's settle down. Let's make it a little. It's tough. It's supposed to be tough.
You know what? That's fine. Let's get the football over the top and talk about these big boys, particularly DJ Burns, who the touch of his passes, he was giving me big Arvydas Sabonis vibes on Saturday night.
I mean, is he not the sort of the feel-good kind of people find themselves pulling for? Because let's be honest, we are stuck with a whole lot of ones and twos. Boring. So now we've reached the part of the March Madness where it's like, you find a guy, you find a team, you rally around them, and you cheer for them the rest of the way. Realistically, is it going to happen? I don't know. But crazier things have happened. I love this dude because the stories about him owning vending machines and sort of teaching teammates and people that you got to keep that hustle going, keep the income flowing. I was like, yo, this dude's way ahead of all of us. So I will follow him wherever he goes.
For the rest of your life.
Forever and ever. Amen.
I'm currently 23rd in a pool of 29 people.
I have a men's and women's. In the men's pool, I am currently 149th out of 159. And in the women's, I am 12 of 12.
Seriously, I just assumed that, like, if I'm just randomly guessing,
sure,
right? Like, how bad could it be? Was there really a difference when I used to pay attention and I would do all the research? And apparently there is, because I am awful. I really, 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 really suck.
No, you don't. I'm going to tell you why. Because I do the same thing. There was a time where I nerded out.
Yeah, but you really suck too.
I don't, but here's why I'm going to tell you.
Should I be listening to you?
Yes, you should, because I know that I suck, but here's why I suck. Because for the ones mostly that have advanced that were probably obvious, I didn't pick them, and it was out of pure spite, right? Like, I'm not putting Duke advancing on any bracket that I've ever done.
No.
Now, I know as soon as I do it that I'm going to be wrong, but sometimes pride is better than accuracy. I accept my fate, but I am proud that I didn't put evil teams advancing all the way.
So are you saying that because I randomly picked Oakland to win their first round game against Kentucky, that I should feel like I basically won the whole thing in spite of the fact that I had Kansas in the final game and they're already gone?
Oh, why would you have Kansas in the final? They have they're all injured.
I didn't know. I was just picking names.
That.
I was just picking names.
That's all right because 2 of my 4 are only left: North Carolina and UConn. I
have them.
Tar Heels. Okay.
I have
okay.
UConn. I have North Carolina. I have Marquette. And I have Kansas, okay? And I literally am awful. And I'm in the same pool as my 16-year-old nephew, who is not a college basketball fan. He is second overall, and I am 23rd.
And that's what I'm saying. Those are the guys that always win. Those men and women who just go, okay, they win. Period.
I'm not comfortable with you calling my nephew a man.
He's a grown-ass man.
All right, up next, Kendrick Lamar dropped a spicy diss track. Ooh.
Squeeze me?
That appears to be aimed at Drake and J. Cole, featuring the line, "Fuck the big 3, it's just big me."
Okay.
Do we want to continue talking about the NCAA, with which both you and I know nothing about? Or should we move on to Kung Fu Kenny, which at least I know something about?
I do love Kendrick Lamar. I actually have a picture I have taken with Kendrick Lamar where we're sitting on a couch together, and I shit you not, it looks like I am somebody's mother who was just like, I'm going to sit next to this nice young gentleman while someone takes a photograph, and I will send it to you because it's brutal. That being said, March Madness, you're going over the top.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You've been entertaining and you will continue to be so, hopefully, but I have questions here, Peter Rosenberg. How does this work? Is a dude just sort of chilling, living life, and then he either sees or hears something that strikes him, and he's like, I must diss them now? Is that how this works?
No, it's more like this. The person's sitting there, they're minding their own business. Mm-hmm. Let me get their sound effects ready.
Oh, dear.
And all of a sudden they go, I have an idea. I must attack Drake. And then they're randomly struck by a bunch of air horns. And everything becomes crystal clear. Actually, not really. I think it's more like a long-term sort of grudge that exists between Kendrick and Drake.
Why? Is it the writing thing?
I think all of those things are just sort of a reason. You know, I think so. I am known as a big Kendrick guy, and I am a big Kendrick guy. I was a big supporter of his a long time ago when my words actually still mattered. And I lent a lot of support to him. Okay. And I have been very proud of the career that he's turned out to have. He's been amazing. I don't know that I fully understand why he's been bothered by the Drake thing. And I don't recall him ever expressing it to me directly. But what it appears like to me is he just sort of gets sick, I think, of doing the right thing and not getting the same level of accolades that Drake gets. That to me, it's as simple as that. Maybe there's a deeper friendship part of it. I mean, Drake did take Kendrick on his first major tour. They've done records together. There is history there. But to me, you know, when you have that line in the song where Kendrick says Prince outlived Mike Jack, where it's like he's kind of making a comparison that he's like the Prince to Drake's Michael Jackson.
That's not a good comparison. They're both dead.
Well, fair point, but you're going literal, Beetle. It's deeper than that.
My bad.
You know what I'm saying?
I am not that smart.
He artistically outlived him.
It's not, if it's not literal, I can't deal with it. It needs to be literal or I'm not accepting it.
That is the only, so rap with analogies you cannot do. I need you to be.
No.
You hear that and you go, why are you battling? Is he battling Michael Jackson? What's happening?
Yeah, when I heard fuck the big 3, it's just the big me.
You thought Celtics big 3?
Yeah, I'm thinking basketball, and then he wants to take, I don't even know. But maybe incorporate more gifts in your concerts because Drake is like just giving away cash money these days and presents. So
that's a really good point.
I don't know. I'd like to be
I'll just say this. The more everyone gets hyped off the Kendrick part, but the real interesting part is the fact that Future is dissing Drake, considering they were like actually very close and have albums together.
Why is Future dissing Drake?
See, that's the more interesting piece. What happened between Future and Drake? Kendrick and Drake have never really been friends, but Future and Drake, I mean, they had a full album together that's like heralded by people as a classic. So,
I blame a girl.
People are suggesting it could be that.
Vixens and sirens. That's all we are. We are halfway through the show. Yeah, that was quick, actually. Right now, the most important story so far is this dissing from Kendrick Lamar?
Sounded so hip hop when you said it like that. This dissing.
Mean, organic. Just did you off the tongue?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Over the Top. It's our next challenger. There's no way Drake and Kendrick Lamar make it to the end, right? No, can't be. No.
I mean, it's a big story in my world. Who knows? But let's see.
Mine too.
Who is that high stepping this direction? It's the biggest NFL draft story right now, and it's about next year's draft.
What?
Deion Sanders says certain teams will be off limits to Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter next season. Quote, I know where I want them to go. There's certain cities where it ain't going to happen. It's going to be an Eli Manning situation.
Damn.
Do we want to continue talking about K-Dot, Drake, and Cole, or move on to prime time?
Yeah, you know what? As much as I could really wax poetic on Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, and now I guess Future's been thrown in as well, and I do have hours and hours of information. I'm going to go ahead and throw them over the top because, man, there's parenting, there's coaching, there's agenting, and then there's Deion Sanders. I don't know if I love this or like this or hate this, Peter.
By the way, that is like perpetually how I feel about Deion at every moment. Right. I like go back and forth between, like, even when I was watching Colorado last year, I would be like rooting for them, like, this is awesome. Yeah. And then rooting against them, like, I just want to see you lose. And like, I cannot,
got your wish.
I cannot make up my mind. Have I ever told you the story? Oh, yeah. I mean, as for the Shedeur Sanders thing, is it a good or bad thing for a coach to come out and say, hey, before the season even starts, just so you know, these guys are only No, it's not a good thing. That can't be a good thing. I can't imagine.
Leverage.
I can't. And the league can't like that. That's just not good. It's not. And you're not making things easier on your kid or Travis Hunter. It doesn't come off great. And by the way, you guys were so bad the second half of the season.
And
it's just. Did I ever tell you about the time that I auditioned for a show and Deion Sanders was also auditioning for the show?
Go on.
In the beginning of my foray into sports 6 or 7 years ago, when I was doing all kinds of different stuff to, like, I don't know, see what I could find. I auditioned for it was like a men's, it sounds like such a horrible idea in retrospect.
I'm so in already. What is this?
It was like a men's kind of daytime talk show. No, it wasn't a men's daytime talk show.
Yes.
It was a daytime talk show, but they wanted a men's angle. Okay.
So was it like The View with penises?
No, I think they only wanted one penis.
One penis. Oh, that's classy.
So I don't remember who the women are, although they were notable. Like, it would be really funny to, if I should have written everybody down. I met so many random people on this show.
The worst story you've ever told.
Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Okay. So auditioning for the penis were myself. Deion Sanders.
Interesting.
You know the really famous country syndicated personality Bones Jones or something?
What?
Johnny Bones.
The MMA fighter?
No. The syndicated country radio star.
Blake Shelton? Oh, that guy that was on Dancing with the Stars. I never knew who he was. Something Bone. I know who you're talking about, but I still don't know who he is.
Yeah. But anyways, him and other random people. I had so what they would do is they'd bring you into the mix and you'd like do a session. And then they would like, we're going to do a chemistry test and switch you out and mix the other person in. In one of these sessions, I got thrown in with Deion Sanders. So we were both Bobby Bones.
Bobby Bones. I thought it was an alliteration. Go on.
So when Deion and I got through, I thought I'd been doing pretty good. And when I got thrown into the thing with Deion, I literally was just like, I can't compete with this man in anything. He is so unspeakably dominant and charismatic in whatever he's doing in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain. I just melted and just like, he's funny, more Deion. I'll show myself out.
Just give him the job.
I rolled off the set. Like, I just rolled out of my chair and off to the side. And they were like, what's that weird wet white smudge on the ground? And they went, that's Rosenberg. He lost to Deion.
He's very self-aware. He will show himself out.
Yeah, he knows there's no competing against this gorgeous man, who, by the way, looks the same now as he did when he was 24 years old.
100%. But I am on to him. There's a big difference between putting sunglasses on, and not. Like, I also look significantly younger with sunglasses on. I'm on to you, Deion.
That is smart.
I know. I should have done that now. If I do it now, everyone's going to know why I'm doing it. I should have been doing it for 30 years.
Yep.
Damn it.
Big mistake.
All right, Peter, you're never going to guess what this next story or who this next story is about. It's Jason Kelce, but in the WWE? According to The Miz via TMZ, a lot of Z's, he could be very dangerous in a WWE ring, not only with just the athleticism and the wrestling, which I think he can absolutely do. Do we want to continue to talk about Deion Sanders, who is laying the path for his kid and his dude, Travis Hunter, or we want to switch over to Jason Kelce?
No, I mean, I think we've done enough on Deion Sanders, right?
I'm fine with it.
Over the top. Let's send Deion Sanders over the top. He'll have other things that he both amuses us and annoys us with over the next 6 months to a year.
100.
And here's the question.
Wow.
Jason Kelce in WWE. Listen, he's a great talker. He's obviously physically gifted. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard for me to picture what kind of, what he'd be like in the ring. I can picture him on the mic easily. I mean, he's a great talker.
I'm trying to think of at first I was thinking the problem with the wrestlers that come to my mind is they were full on character, like the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt, may he rest. That was a full on Oscar winning character role.
And that's what you're picturing when you see Jason Kelce, because the beard and the size.
But that's not what we want Jason Kelce to do. So I don't know if he just embraces and leans into Jason Kelce, retired football dude, because he's not dumb. He's not going to be a heel. He's going to be great on the mic. I'm having a hard time. As much as I get what The Miz is saying and doing here, I'm having a really hard time visualizing it. But it might just be me and my brain, and I'm more than open to ideas.
There's a tag team called the Viking Raiders.
Okay, there we go.
I could easily see Jason Kelce being a Viking Raider. But even then, his personality can't be like a Viking.
No, he's like, what is that even? Like minimal words, just pillaging.
Pillaging and shoving, big bones in his mouth.
Ew.
But I do think it's an opportunity. And guess where WrestleMania is in a couple of weeks?
That's a great point. The city of brotherly love. Yeah,
That's right.
A one-off, yes. Easy, but...
him coming out and affecting the outcome of a match at this year's WrestleMania, absolutely easy.
Yep, I'm in on that.
All right, up next, the latest NFL draft rumor du jour comes to us from our nation's capital.
No.
Yeah, where my Washington Commanders top brass are reportedly considering taking Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy with the second overall pick. McCarthy is widely regarded by draft nerds like our producer, Andrew Goldstein, as the fourth best QB in a 3 QB draft. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I'm going to go ahead and call this hogwash.
Which part?
I just don't believe
the 3?
I don't believe they're considering it. I just don't buy it.
I see what you're doing, the denial thing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in denial. Just days ago, it was all Jaden Daniels. And then what about Drake May? And now all of a sudden it's JJ McCarthy. I don't
so does this mean you want to talk about it, or you want to continue to talk about Jason? What are we doing here?
Oh God.
Okay, first of all, we are picking it just simply because the graphic says McCarthyism back in DC. Chef's kiss, history buffs, amaze. Jason Kelce, you're out of here. I don't know who did this one today, but you should have a race. That being said, this is your team, Peter Rosenberg. And if you want to blame someone, it's Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, who has been doubling down this week on how great he thinks this kid is. And let's not forget, it was mere months ago when he was telling everybody that he was the best quarterback to come out of Michigan ever. News note, Tom Brady. So I don't know what his angle is here with McCarthy. I am just blown away by this and very, very happy and grateful that this is not my team and that I don't actually have a team.
Yeah, you're not making me feel better. This is exactly what my concern was. It feels like, honestly, just the name JJ McCarthy, it's like, listen, this could come back to haunt me, and for years to come, you could be playing the audio of me being like, JJ McCarthy sounds like a loser.
Yeah, we hope so.
But he sounds like a loser. I just don't see it being an NFL. That's not an NFL. Jaden Daniels, that's an NFL name. I can see that.
Oh, you're going okay. But
Drake May? He's got the name Drake. And May, great season, great artist, great season.
Yeah,
Drake
but what
May.
if I said to you, Drake May suck?
Drake May suck? Who are you, Kendrick Lamar?
I mean, it sounds like I am. Knew it. I knew I was cool. I knew I was. I'm just saying, maybe if for your sake, I hope we are all wrong and Harbaugh sees something that the rest of us don't see because, Tom Hardy, he always looked great, but Tom Brady
Touché.
didn't look like much to write home about in the beginning. And here we are.
Yeah, but Tom
Dynasty
Brady
later.
wasn't going to get picked with the second overall pick. Am I right?
Up next, damned alligator just popped up. Happy Gilmore Dose is officially...
No way.
Why are you shaking your head? I'm not even done.
No way.
He's officially moving forward with Adam Sandler and Netflix. Do we want to continue talking about JJ McCarthy and Peter's Commanders, or are we switching over to the latest Hollywood reboot?
Get out of here. Get everything out of here. Clear the docket. Clear what's ahead. Clear what's behind. It's Happy Gilmore Radio, baby. Over the top you go, JJ McCarthy. All you need to know is Adam Sandler is in Happy Gilmore 2. And there's going to be like a touching Carl Weathers thing that's included because Chubbs Peterson, of course, is no longer with us.
I mean, look, the first draft of the script has been written. And that is according to Shooter McGavin himself, Christopher McDonald.
Really?
Said he saw him a few weeks ago. Yeah, this is all a thing that's happening. I don't have a single negative thing to say about this. Like, I get it. People don't like sequels. And sometimes they're done horribly and they suck, or they don't even have a single original member of the cast. But if this goes the way it seems like it's headed, I'm 100% in. I'm wondering if Julie Bowen remains on. Like, did she and Happy get married and have kids?
Oh, it's a great question.
I mean, did they do that? Or is he divorced now, maybe an alcoholic, and he's trying to figure out a way to make some quick cash? This could be anything.
There's so many ways you can go. That's what I'm saying. This is such a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. This is the kind of movie that should be redone, not Roadhouse, which I watched this weekend.
Bro.
That's right. I watched it. No, it's...
Yeah.
I actually... Can I tell you the truth? I enjoyed Roadhouse.
God, you are... Okay, now I'm going to...
No. You take yourself too seriously, Beetle.
I take myself too seriously.
I sat in bed with my wife. And
well, that just goes to show the newlywed time is over. Because that's what you guys are doing now.
It was fun. Did you see the original Roadhouse? It wasn't exactly The Godfather.
Did I see the original Roadhouse?
Yeah, it was a shirtless Patrick Swayze beating people up. This was a shirtless Jake Gyllenhaal beating people up.
That is the highlight.
So what?
Jake Gyllenhaal looked like an ice cream cone. Delicious and yummy. But the rest of that garbage, what is that? And by the way,
what do you expect? I mean,
we
it's
are
Roadhouse.
Here's what we're not going to do. We are not, on my watch, going to make Conor freaking McGregor some kind of actor or star. He's unlikable. He doesn't even have to act to be unlikable.
Perfect.
I don't like him. I don't like seeing his face. I don't like anything about it.
I hear you, but that's what made him the perfect hateable heel villain in the movie.
There are better actors that we all want to hate. The real actors, not whatever that was. No.
All right, guys. 2 MLB stories in the same episode?
Can't happen.
Huh? Well, we have to. And guess what? I got a hunch this one may win. The face of baseball, Shohei Ohtani. He does it all. He can hit, he can pitch. And now he's caught up in some cockamamie gambling scandal.
Oopsie.
Ohtani may or may not have paid $4.5 million to an illegal bookmaker in California to cover his translator's gambling debts. Of course, according to Shohei, he never agreed to pay off the debt or make payments to a bookmaker, and he is, quote, beyond shocked. Do we want to talk about whatever we were just talking about? Oh, that's right. It was Happy Gilmore 2.
I forgot.
Or Shohei Ohtani. I'm thrilled. I cannot wait for Happy Gilmore 2.
We could throw very gently, because I don't want anything to happen before the actual shooting of the film comes out, Adam Sandler and company over the top rope. I've been waiting to hear about this from you, Peter Rosenberg. I've been talking about it nonstop for days. We have now heard from Ohtani himself via a second translator that was already in-house.
He has also been accused of gambling improprieties.
I watched that translator actually steal money from Shohei Ohtani during the press conference. Just reach over into his pocket and steal his wallet.
I thought it was a weird look when the new translator just kicked his feet up on the desk at the press conference and started reading penthouse letters. I was like, this is a weird
I don't speak Japanese, but this doesn't seem like he's saying that. Look, this story and I am a cynical asshole. I believe almost nothing. I'm having a hard time with this one. And I know everyone's like, say it ain't show. Get it? I find it very hard to believe, Peter, that he's just completely, totally guilt-free and innocent in this one. Now, whether it's just a matter of he knew what it was for and he was just helping a friend. Okay, there are levels to what I think he may or may not be guilty of. But just the simple fact that the denial has now officially been issued twice, that the friend has officially been dismissed and thrown under the bus wholeheartedly makes me a little uncomfortable.
So I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who
has stolen $4.5 million.
Thank you. As someone who's been in the hole $4.5 million.
Dang.
I'm just kidding. I'm not Craig Carton. I'm Peter Rosenberg. And you can find my shows on television and radio. No, as someone who has no idea what's happening with my money at any given moment.
I mean, yes. I could be broke right now.
I fully trust someone to handle everything of mine. If she decided, F it, I am sending $4.5 million to a guy named Johnny Hustle, then she could be doing that. You know, Fast Edey.
She could be doing that.
Yeah, my person. If she wanted to send, I mean, she couldn't send $4.5 million because it just wouldn't be there. But if she wanted to send a gaggle of money to a guy named Fast Edey Inc., she could. She could. And in the end, I would go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I didn't even notice.
Peter, that's a financial person. This is his translator / friend. So unless he gave him power of attorney, which why would he? Because I'm with you. But here's the other thing. Then that would be implying that a financial person on the Ohtani team is also in cahoots with the translator, Ipe.
Well, here's the stinkiest part of the whole thing. Is what the hell, how could it be that there was no one else in Shohei's camp? Like, how would this dude, the translator, he's not your business manager.
No, he's not.
So how did he send the money?
Thank you.
And then if someone else did it, like it was, the business manager did it. Shohei Ohtani's not Peter Rosenberg. He doesn't have multiple people keeping an eye on that money. Like, there's not a handful of people who see, like, a lawyer, a wife, an agent, no one else.
That's why I'm calling bullshit. It was 9 transfers to get to $4.5 million. 9. Put it this way. I, too, do not see my money and very well could have none right now. But I know for a fact that since the beginning that I've had people helping me, that not only do they reach out to me when a large sum of money is about to go out or did go out, they reach out to me when little things, like every month I get my statement, like, do you approve of all these things? We're going to pay them all off, yada, yada, yada. You're telling me that in the course of however long, that this dude just happened to talk somebody into getting $4.5 million sent over 9 different transfers. It doesn't make sense. I get what's going on. We don't want to lose Shohei Ohtani. It's a scandal. It's just hard to believe.
You may be right.
You might be right. I might be wrong, but I might be crazy.
Please keep going. This is my favorite part of the show.
You might be right. I may be wrong, but I might be crazy. Is that not it? Are you sure?
You're
I thought
destroying
there were 3 lines. Do it again.
First of all, the fact that you went to a Billy Joel concert recently,
multiples,
and you don't remember You May Be Right is like, I don't even know what the comp for this is.
Oh, I know. You may be right. I might be wrong, but I also might be crazy.
Nope. Again, not how the song goes.
He does reference he's crazy and also
you may be right.
Okay.
I may be crazy, but I just might be the lunatic you're looking for. Turn off the lights.
Mine's better.
Don't try to save me. Wow.
I think you could add a line in there and just make, put that song over the top. Look away, Jayhawks fans. Ooh. Face of the first weekend of March Madness was Zack Gohlke, who hit 16 threes in Oakland's 2 tournament games, including going 10 of 20 from 3 in Oakland's first round upset of old Kentucky. Sadly, though, eliminated in round 2 by NC State. However, Mr. Gohlke immediately cashed in with not just 1, but 2 NIL deals, TurboTax, and Buffalo Wild Wings. Woohoo!
Listen,
come on, dude.
Listen, I love Gohlke. I love. You know what I say? F Mulkey. Give me Gohlke. You know what I'm saying?
It's close. You're making it work.
I love Gohlke. I love his widow's peak. I was so dialed in Saturday night to that game against NC State. It had everything you wanted. You had the upstart 24-year-old 3-point dagger thrower, up against DJ Burns, who looks like, do you remember in Nintendo hockey, you could choose between the small, medium, or big guy? Like those were the settings.
Wow, those were the good old days. Yep.
DJ Burns looks like someone chose the Nintendo hockey setting for the big guy. Like it had everything. But at the same time, Beatles, into it as I was, it ended and they lost. And how can that be bigger than maybe the biggest athlete, the highest paid athlete in North American sports history, maybe going down with a gambling scandal? I don't think I can't.
It won't be. No, I'm sorry, Gohlke. Your run ends for us here at Over the Top. And P.S. Oakland, not in Oakland. It's over the top you go.
Over the top you go. No, it is not in Oakland.
That's
California.
The kind of sports insight, though, you're going to get when you tune into this here podcast. I just want to make sure people understand that.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow the story at all, but in case you did and you thought it was Oakland, California, guess what? It wasn't.
So,
sorry.
What do you think happens here? Like, do you think, okay, these are the three options as far as I know, and maybe you've got more that I'm not thinking of, but number one, nothing. 0 suspension. We all move on with our lives. Number two, a version of a suspension just simply because money was wired, period. That is a crime. Or number three, a bunch more crap comes out and we lose this dude forever.
I think in all likelihood, they're never able to connect anything to baseball. And as a result of not connecting anything to baseball and there being so much money wrapped up in him and it being such a good thing for the game that he plays, I think it ends up kind of fading away and not being the huge deal it could be.
You think, and you've been a fan of sport as long as I have, Peter Rosenberg, but
Close
you think there's a world in which this maybe in Chavez Ravine, it will be quiet and never heard and spoken of again. But every time that dude steps foot on a field anywhere else in this country, if you're a fan worth anything, you're chanting. You're making gambling taunts. You mean
if they can't? You're saying if nothing
yes,
can come
even
out
if nothing.
But what if he somehow finds a way to really distance himself in a way that looks legitimate? I don't know what that would look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part. I think it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a nothing burger, but if somehow he had a smoking gun that showed.
Right, how do you?
I don't know, there's a voicemail. I just humor me.
Nope.
There's a voicemail from the guy talking to someone else, and there's a date on it, and he's holding a picture of the newspaper that day. And he says, Shohei's never going to find out about it. Yeah, she. What's the Japanese version of yeah, she? Like an old-time crook. And he
won't even try to do it.
Go ahead and don't. He says, Shohei's never going to suspect a thing. I'm stealing all the money and I'm betting it all on hockey. If you had some sort of smoking if you had some sort of smoking gun like that to save Shohei, I think it could go away. The problem is, what does that smoking gun look like? I don't know that it exists.
I don't think it does. It's like, how do you prove a negative? How do you prove nothing's there? Nothing's
there.
Dude. Like,
you're getting deep right now, bro. Like,
I took 3 pre-law classes at the University of Texas in Austin, so some might call me an expert.
Say that again. That one was so deep. You said, how do you double prove?
How do you prove a negative or that nothing's nothing?
You may be crazy. I may be Gohlke. I
might be crazy.
No, I may be Gohlke.
You are Gohlke. We're all Gohlke, and that's why he resonated.
And speaking of which, add a little resin to this thing. Hey, that is 90 seconds. By the way, Fish is at the Sphere in a couple of weeks. That's 90 seconds, which means we've come to a decision. That's it. The new, undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week is actually maybe this.
Yeah, facts.
Shohei the money. Ohtani. Whatever stupid pun you want to come up with, Shohei Ohtani's gambling controversy or not gambling controversy is number 1. Do you think we got it right?
I mean,
we don't care.
We did, though. Like 100%, we got this right.
Come on.
100.
Give us that one, for God's sake. That's it for us. Tune in next week to determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top. Play that catchy music.